Hello, this is Gene Sheridan. This is going to be very first recording about our tips and tricks we're going to be having. So appreciate y'all coming along. Okay, we'll get started here. I've got some wires all bundled up here, and I'm going to show you how I wrap. There's several ways people wrap, but this is just my way, and I like it pretty good. I take a got I put the pliers in the wire in the pliers, and I try to get it in the same place that it would be the thickness of the bundle. And by doing that, when you bend it over, it makes a real good fit on the end of the wires. And you don't usually have no little lump sticking up. But in case you do, I'll show you how to correct that in a minute. All right. Then the way I wrap, I put the wires on the bundle, and I wrap it up like this, and I mash that down. Then I roll it up again, and I mash it down. And again, and mash it down. And I just keep rolling it like that. And I'm going to show you now the other side. When I bring this one over, there is a little teeny lump right there. I think y'all can probably see it. So I just bring the bundle, the wire back, pull it tight, and wrap it around, and then mash it down. And that little lump is gone from there now. And that's how I get rid of that. I've gotten to where I don't even look for that little lump. I just automatically back that off like that. Now I'll go ahead and I'll make 7 wraps here on the end, and I'll show you why tell you why I make that after a while. Let me go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and cut these off, even though it's not 7. You've seen how I wrap. And when I cut these off, I got my pliers on a 45-degree angle. And I always, when you cut a piece of wire on your jewelry, the flat side is called a flush cutter, and it will cut the wires off square. And that's what you want, because the other side will cut them off on a point, and then they could hurt somebody, stick in their fingers or their face or their eyes or whatever. And so I cut them off like that, and then I use the chain nose pliers, and I cut them to where they're only covering about 2 to 3 wires at the very most. Now these are 20 gauge wires, so it's covering about 3 wires on this. And when I mash that down, I lift the pliers up like that, and that kind of makes that end of that wire dig down into the bundle of wires. And then when you do that, you can rub that and you won't get scratched at all. No way you get scratched. Now, there's another thing. If you got a piece of pattern wire in there, you put the pattern wire under and you wrap right on the end of the pattern wire going towards the center of the bracelet. 7 wraps. But if you got regular wires like this, you just put it on here and leave some stick out, because you got to have some for the hook and the catch to fit on. Now you've got some here in the middle that you don't need, and you don't cut them off, because you can't cut them off now. It's too late, and they're not going to be flush with the wrapping unless you do like this. Take and pull one up, catch one of them here, pull it up like this, and just bend it back and forth like this. And then grab you another one. And bend it till you break it off. And we'll do one more. Okay, now, I don't know how good y'all can see that, but there's no wire sticking out from them wraps. It breaks off a little bit inside the wrap, and which is good. Now, you don't want to see a wire sticking out. All right, then I go ahead and cut these off to the size I need. And there's a little story about the reason I wrap 7 wraps on the end and 3 in the other parts of the bracelet. And what that is I went on the internet one time and I looked up people's what people thought was their lucky number, and it come out to where most of them was picking 7 or 3 for their lucky number. So I decided I'd cover both bets. I put 7 on the ends and 3 in the other places. And so then I got to reading about that on the internet about the 7 and the 3. And 7 and 3 is really something. Almost every bird that we have, and that is domesticated anyhow, chickens, ducks, geese, guineas, all of those birds hatch their eggs in multiples of 7 days. So it'd be like 7 days, 14 days, 21 days, and that's very odd, I thought. So anyhow, now there's one other thing I need to show y'all. I don't think I showed you yet. Is you want your wrap straight, and I've seen a lot of people that their wraps was crooked on the front side. Now, to get them crooked on the front side, straight on the front side, you got to make them crooked on the back side, because as you're rolling them over, you're getting them off of that wire, and so you're going this way, and so when you do, the front side will be straight, and that's something you got to watch every time you start wrapping, is to get them off crooked like that, from the lower right or lower left right to the top right, and they'll always be straight on the front side. And let's see, I think I covered everything about the wire. Yeah, that's also, now I'll make another video about some more tips and stuff, and I have them. I'll put them up on YouTube. Um, so keep watching for them, and appreciate it if y'all watch them and give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you like what you see, because we'll be making a video every Wednesday, some kind, to put up there. A lot of tutorials about jewelry. There's a lot of them already up there, and it's JPG apostrophe S jewelry is the site. So you go on YouTube and you do a search for JPG jewelry, JPG apostrophe S jewelry. Okay, thanks for coming along.